City Power says it's now successfully restored electricity to the Joburg CBD. Residents and businesses have been without power since that gas explosion at the Lillian and Goy Street near the Bree Street taxi rank at noon today. City Power confirming it's switched on power to at least 50% of the residents' load feeding from the Bree substation. City Power now confirming that the final distributor switch was flipped at 2:20 this afternoon, restoring power to everyone in the Joburg CBD. Isaac Mangena is the spokesperson for City Power in Joburg. Isaac, good afternoon to you. How big of a job has this been over the last 5 days?
Good afternoon and good afternoon. It has been a very difficult one for the residents within the city of Johannesburg, who have basically been without electricity for several days now. But we managed to basically ensure that we do the work as quickly as we can, especially after we were given a clearance by the departments that are responsible for emergency services and also disaster management. So as I'm talking to you now, we have basically managed to restore electricity to 100% of the residents that were affected by the explosion, who are feeding from Bree substation.
Are you worried that, there's going to be a lot of work that's going to have to be done in that area. Are you worried you may have to switch the power off again to do that work? Or do you think it'll stay on for good now?
We draw confidence from the fact that at least the issue of the gas that was basically lingering in that area has been cleared with the officials responsible for the gas installations saying that at least we are sitting at about 1% on risk matrix. So we are remaining on site. Our teams will be on site because we still have several services that are supplied by the municipality that are still basically off, and most of them are basically running on the same stretch where the explosion happened, and that's where some of our cables are basically running. So we are remaining on site to support them, so that for safety purposes, whenever they want to basically ensure that they work around our cables, we can be able to switch them off. But it's not going to be the whole of the city. It's probably going to be just about 10% of the residents that will be affected every time there is an outage that is requested. So we'll remain on just basically to ensure that everything is in order.
It's my understanding that that's probably the most densely populated area of South Africa, in that particular part of Joburg. How difficult is the load? How intense is the load that people draw there? It's residential areas, so it's not necessarily factories, but it's still a lot of people in one small area for you to manage.
Yes, indeed. We've got about 2,800 account holders sitting who are fed from Bree substation. That's a lot of individual households, and give or take, with 4 people in one household, it's a lot of people, as you rightfully pointed out. But also the fact that it's basically in the CBD of Johannesburg, which means that you've got a lot of people coming there to work, others basically commuting to different areas where they need to go. So, but for us, it was an issue of safety first, safety of the residents, but also safety of our own employees and the employees of other entities within the city of Johannesburg. And I think that has been cleared. And currently, all we are running after is to ensure that all the services that are affected are basically restored to the residents. Electricity, luckily, there was not much of an impact on most of our infrastructure. It was only one distributor, the de Villiers distributor, part of which runs through the epicenter of that explosion. But we managed to basically test it. There was some drying that needed to happen because of the moisture that was building in some of the cables, and we managed to basically clear that one up. By early this afternoon, we managed to basically go 100%, and we're happy that the residents are currently do have electricity. And the CEO of City Power, Mr. Floro Mashava, has actually commended the work that was done by the team, because since we were given the clearance last night, the teams have been on site, basically working to ensure that we energize the substation, and we can basically ensure that the electricity is restored to all the residents by this afternoon. So we are really happy that we managed to basically ensure that the electricity is restored.
Isaac Mangena, thank you, spokesperson for City Power. Do appreciate the time.